Welcome back to the 2014 North American Challenger Series. It's time for the second game in this third place fight between Complexity Red and Cognitive Gaming. With one more win, Zamfira and crew will lock down a spot in the quarterfinals of the second spring series.
Yeah, and I have to say, Zamfira and the other carries for Cognitive came up big again.
Yeah.
Zamfira had a big game on LeBlanc, 11-4-6. Swat and Golden Glue, left and right. The guy who carried Complexity, Red, in their third place game. So
yeah.
It's really got to be one of the two in the mid lane stepping up big in the second game, because it seems like that's really determining the way these matches are going.
Yeah, I felt like Golden Glue had a much worse game. Remember looking at his score, he was like 4-8 and like 3 at one point in that one, like a really rough score for him. And I know we talked about him as like a really big force for him, but I felt like he was always a little bit inconsistent in watching his games, not necessarily in the Challenger Series here, but the other tournaments his team has been playing. He sometimes has really high highs and some kind of low lows as well. So I want to see him get back on what was good for him, and I want to see impactful on that team, be a little bit more consistent. I think he's one of the big consistent getters for Complexity Red. I want to see him improve. So
yeah, definitely the mid lane was also tipped by junglers, I have to say. Great vision from both teams, but since LeBlanc has the range advantage on Kha'Zix, made Golden Glue's job hard. And you could see Complexity really wanted to answer because they sent NK there early, but they had his first ultimate flop because he came from a ward, and that's just really good baiting by Zamfira. Yeah,
I liked his return, though. The fear into the flash drain, like rank 4 drain maxes W.
I'm not done here.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
No. Fiddlesticks.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me about not being
Get
done.
into the mind of the
players. It was so convincing. I didn't realize. If you were nothing here, what are you thinking right now?
I'm thinking I need to get more kills. Probably a pentakill would feel good this game.
How about a hexakill?
Looking forward to those.
Yeah.
I think people are probably going to be racing to see who's the first hexakill, and they'll immediately upload it.
Yeah, I guarantee number one.
Everyone will just throw tomatoes at them.
Mine was cooler.
Yeah.
Yep, to see how many you can get. I predict number one on League Reddit like the next day is like a hexakill montage.
So if you run a 6 versus 6 game, what strategy would you go for? Because I would definitely like double jungle, seeing as how strong jungle is right now. If you're able to control both jungles, you control the jungle, you control the Empire, freak.
You control the Empire?
So on Dune, they say something like you control the spice. Never mind.
I remember the reference.
But
the spice, we're good.
The double lanes on both sides, I'm not really sold on it because, like, unless you go like double Targons and you do like a Jet strategy.
Just bring it back.
A Jet strategy with
Darius Maokai.
Yeah, exactly.
I played a Taric Leona lane, top lane. We ran no jungle. It's pretty effective. We're very tanky, had a bunch of armor.
Taric Leona.
There's a bunch of stuns.
Pretty good couple. They both do very similar things.
So we towered over them and stunned them for like 8 seconds. It was great. You can't hate on that one. Both bought Frozen Heart. Didn't both buy Frozen Heart. I bought a Frozen Heart. I was Taric.
So
it was glorious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no more lying, because
I didn't lie. I lied about nothing so far. What did I lie about?
We both bought Frozen Heart, and then you're like, no, we didn't both buy Frozen Heart.
Yeah, I corrected myself.
Okay.
There's a difference between making a mistake and lying.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a line that we will keep, and we will not cross again. So.
Yep, Lulu, Kassadin bans. No one's really surprised by them right here. Red team banning Kassadin train continues. That means Complexity Red has one extra ban for themselves. That won't be Kassadin, but now they're just lying because they're in blue.
Yeah.
But they're not changing their tag.
Nah, they drew the same line. They're not jumping over the line.
Well, they added a Pantheon ban in here against Admiral Ziploc. Did work well last time. Their other ban before was Elise, and I'm curious to see if they put that in there or they let NK Inc. play this time around.
NK plays like so many junglers though.
Yeah. You're okay.
I don't know.
No one else heard you say excuse me, by the way. Only I did. I like how you held the mute and then mouthed the words.
That was the whole point. NK plays so many junglers. I'd actually much rather see him on one of the other strategies that he pulls out. Like he's one of the ones that heavily favors hard farming Master Yi with teleport coming from the jungle, or like jungle Ezreal into push compositions. Fast push is something that he was a big fan on when he was back on Velocity, and support daddy as well was part of that. So
sure,
I have to see if we come out with a new strategy from them again.
Well, let's see. Gragas was a repeat ban by Cognitive. They're going to have to remove something from last time. Let's see what else they're afraid of here. Do they get Elise? Do they get something else? Yasuo is still going to get banned out. That does leave one new option open. Complexity red. I'm predicting first pick Elise, but there might be something I'm like forgetting completely left open on the table.
What would you value more than Elise? I guess
valued Sivir.
I guess, yeah, they don't put that much emphasis on the bottom lane, these guys. There's like
Yeah.
not a lot of support bans.
True.
But
Okay.
Sivir, like we talked about after the other game, has been pretty much the story of today. And the extra move speed for your entire team in the late game seems to be like that's more than most AD carries bring to the table right now. Most AD carries are always complaining about how hard it is for them to do the same job that they did in previous seasons. If you bring Sivir, then you're bringing so much help to the rest of your team.
Yeah.
That you can make up for just your pure damage output and your potential to carry. Plus, she does all AoE damage, so it just kind of floods into that whole team fight mentality.
Be good on Hexakill.
Be great on Hexakill.
I'd pick Sivir on Karthus.
Be amazing on Hexakill.
As long as you hit every champion on the map, I'd pick it. Golden Glue looking for a second run on Kha'Zix here. Interested to see if that one does come out. I didn't like the Kha'Zix so much last time, but if he just says, oh, it's a couple misplays here and there, it's going to be fine next time around, then I trust him. Better player than I am. The Elise does go over to Ziploc, though.
Yeah.
So that's
I guess the two champions that we called out, possible first picks for Complexity, actually
grabbed
first
up.
Pick by Cognitive. So they had the same thought, going for the early powerhouses. I like those two picks, just all around good. Not much else to say there because Elise, level 3, boom, she's got 6, 7, 8 spells that she can cast. I guess her ulti only counts as 1, or does it count as 2? Does it change names? Use it to Spider? I think it stays the same, so that'd be 7.
Okay. Well, we'll see what else comes through here because...
Did you know?
multiple different spell names for Elise. They might actually just keep the slash the whole time through.
That's
not
ulti?
true. No, like for the regular abilities, but they don't. I don't think they say like Cocoon slash repel. Okay. I'm just.
I'm not actually
did you guess?
angry.
Did you guess?
The Kha'Zix plus Annie added onto Sivir. Not much of a stampede, so it's just taking away Sivir there and adding her for the end game. It still helps Kha'Zix, rotate around.
Yeah.
Sivir also can be played in a lot of tower pushing strategies, just because it makes it so much easier for your team to rotate and retreat as well as answer aggression from the opponents.
And looks like with Renekton not being stolen away, nope, doesn't even matter. Richie Rich gonna play Shyvana anyway. I talked all about like how Renekton and Riven were important, and he doesn't even care. Makes me look a fool. Zamfira picking up the Shyvana for Richie Rich. As we talked about before, Sivir and Annie there for the Stampede squad.
Yeah, the stamping little girl with her teddy bear. And
teddy bear counts in the Stampede.
Bug that flies. Yeah, if Tibbers is out,
Stampede
joins.
There we go.
So I think maybe the Shyvana pick was just taking it away from
the Stampede
Complexity.
I feel like that's weird because I feel like Golden Glue picking Kha'Zix so early means they didn't want to show the other lanes, because I don't think that's the kind of champion Zamfira would steal.
I mean,
so
like
looking for something completely different here.
Yeah, showing like Renekton though is like, don't really care. Malphite, that's actually, one of his.
Yeah, it's a Jesse champion.
Yeah, exactly. This is a unique facet for this top lane matchup
I like this.
here. Because he loves Malphite.
Yeah, he does.
This is one of his main champions here. So they're going to their roots. They've got Malphite plus Annie. Those guys sped up by On the Hunt. It's more of an avalanche than a stampede. And they're going to come in, get the AoE initiate. Kha'Zix has to pick and choose his time to jump in. Because everybody else is going to be full steam ahead. Olaf is definitely part of the stampede. He's going to be charging straight forward. And it'll really just be up to Golden Glue to bide his time until he picks out a perfect target. It makes it a lot easier for him to pick out that target. He's got that extra move speed bonus.
This is going to be interesting. So I'm looking at the interactions here. So we talked about Malphite Rumble as well, one of the champions that Jesse plays sometimes to actually pretty good effect. Played Rumble both games in the play-in round. So I like to see you got a Stampede with Fire coming in there. Olaf's going to love the movement speed. He's got Ghost anyway. What I'm curious to see is Cognitive's response here, because think about interactions. Thresh can flay the Kha'Zix back if you get really good against the leaps. You can put a shield down helping some of the AoE damage. And they're going with...
You can kill him.
Lissandra.
Yeah, you lock him up as soon as he jumps in. The only thing is, how long do you sit on your Lissandra ulti for the duration of a team fight? They're not going to start out the team fight. Like I said, he's waiting. The Kha'Zix is waiting his time on the outskirts of the team fight. He's not going to jump in immediately. How long do you wait for this Olaf pumped up by Sivir and the Annie and Rumble with all their AoE burn.
Yeah.
Before you use your Lissandra ultimate. You can't save that too long. It might be an initiation tool for them to actually start it off, and they might try and take out one of the pieces like Annie before she gets off her combo.
It's true. Zamfira can go in, and there's decent follow-up here. The lane I'm going to watch for, I think, there's two important lanes for me. One is the mid lane, the other one is the bottom lane. I think those are the important ones. The first one, mid lane, is pretty volatile. Anytime you've got an Elise, mid lane is fairly easy to gank. Lissandra's got good follow-up, a move block, and a root. Kha'Zix is pretty killable and has a bunch of damage. And then
goes aggressive. Like, he commits pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. And if he runs his leap onto cooldown, it's going to be rough for him. The other one is important because it's a Sivir lane. And in general, Sivir is short-ranged. And he's got a lot of volatility there. He's got a stun to follow up for, like, Olaf. I think they're both really volatile lanes.
Yeah. You don't usually pick Sivir for the lane phase.
No.
It's always for that team comp.
Yeah.
But if she gets fed, once she gets her bloodthirst, so, you know, she's wave clearing like a maniac, and she puts out all of this AoE damage for the team fights very early.
Yeah.
So that plus Rumble screams dragon fights, because you've got a Kha'Zix for isolation damage on it. You can kill it really quickly, and you've got plenty of AoE damage to answer if Cognitive come to contest it. So I think, you know, Complexity are going to be the ones looking for those team fights, whereas Cognitive are going to be praying for the picks. They've got the Thresh Hook, they've got the Cocoon, and then they have Lissandra for locking up whoever they are able to land skill shots on.
You know what's interesting is you talked about dragon fights being important. Jezzy has run with Teleport Rumble.
Whoa.
So he doesn't even want... I mean, I feel like
you should punish him for that in lane.
Yeah, but there's two thoughts here. So one is like Olaf Rumble doesn't have any kill threat anyway. Like very little, especially against Shyvana. So he's like, screw it, screw the kill like pressure. But you're right about punishing it, right? If they get a gank in, he's pretty defenseless. Jezzy could go down. But I feel like that's the one lane you weren't expecting to gank for in the first place, and that's going to pull Ziplock's attention somewhere where I don't know if it's really needed. It's just a thought. We'll see. Maybe he's better than I am. He is better than I am, but see what he goes for with this one.
So we've been staring at this mid lane for a while. I guess that was a little bit of BM. Auto attacks going down immediately, and Caitlyn gets thirsty. Chugged her health potion already. It's going to hurt her in lane.
Yeah.
Substantially.
If she takes damage.
So
she is Caitlyn.
I mean, the Sivir lane's always looking to try and push in, but so is Caitlyn.
Yeah.
And they're kind of going to be fighting over those minions, so we'll have to see if nothing here can make up for his lack of health potion with lane phase play.
Ooh, good one over the wall. Hook on a support daddy. Auto. I think you missed the Q, actually.
Well, he hit impactful, so still hit, question mark?
So that was not as impactful as it could have been, though.
Count it, yeah.
Okay. Minions getting swept away. That's going to hit him again. Still doesn't care too much. Let's see how the lane pans out, because the Ricochet's on cooldown now for the next few seconds.
Now, if you're hitting 2 people every time with your Piltover Peacemaker, do you award a greater than 100% hit rate?
Yes.
Freak?
Yes, you do.
Oh, so you get extra points for that.
Yes, you do.
Mr. Olympic Judge.
So far, it's only 2 hits and 2 shots.
I agree.
It's just hits over shots, that's all it is.
Now,
Karthus has really high ult accuracy. It's like
that's why there's no award for that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Look at this, though. Fighting over the level 2, as usual. Staying pretty even.
All right, and 2 first for Complexity.
Lack of health potion doesn't look like it will come into play very early.
And Zanking getting the zone. Look how far back they're playing. CS missed by Impactful. 5 to 8 in minions so far. That's a lead for nothing here. And they are giving so much respect to Caitlyn Thresh right now.
And also, freely, he can pick up hit the souls now without having to take harass for them or anything. So that's always very nice when you are Thresh. You want to try and get as many as you possibly can.
Yeah. So Jezzy here has opened up Electro Harpoon into Scrap Shield. And he's letting Retreat pull him around, but he's going to hit level 3 soon, and the last hit under turret if he can. Right. Elise making invades now. Look at this.
Well,
behind Golden Glue.
Lissandra can set up ganks pretty well, and if you can hold him in place for the Cocoon,
good lead.
Then you know, you can chain that CC. However, Zamfira not able to land the AoE snare, and it's just going to be a hop away for Golden Glue.
Jezzy's down to half. They're looking for him.
So is Richie Rich.
NK Inc. guessed the wrong spot, though. Jesse's surrounded.
Punish him for that teleport. I mean, that's definitely the right call here, especially with Elise who can repel the damage.
Jumps in, repel goes in the air, Richie Rich.
Oh no! Better take it now. What are you waiting for?
The flash? Ooh, wow.
Okay, so the thing about Elise repel, if you cast on the ground, yes, you're going to have to wait the whole 2 seconds if there are no minions. But there were minions walking through there, so you don't want to wait any longer than you have to.
Yeah.
And come right back down because, you know, Shyvana tanking up that turret for you isn't going to wait long. He only had one more shot to die. Very close play right there, but they got exactly what they needed to be done, and nobody lost their life to the follow-up gank from Olaf, who also burned his ghost.
That's true. He tried to get there and couldn't find it. Interesting thing to note, did you know? So once Rumble was dead, and once Ziploc had finally landed on the ground and the Spiderlings had respawned, Richie Rich could have dodged turret aggro, and it would have hit the Spiderlings before it hit Ziploc.
Yeah, it does acquire targets on the Spiderlings first.
Yep.
So that's a thing. Like, a lot of people, when they repel up and there are no minions lying down to land on, they get antsy because you have to sit up there for the whole 2 seconds if there's no target.
Yeah. If you're the only one, though, it will go to you first. Elise does land before these Spiderlings, but as long as like it loses its old target
On somebody else, yeah, if he moves out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your lightnings are on the ground, then you're okay. Couple of
It used to.
Yeah, it used to just like
auto
default.
acquire on the Spiderlings when just you were there.
And then it was easy to terror dive people.
And everyone complained because that's just ridiculous.
It's a little strong.
Now, I'd probably see some repeat ganks because
Yeah.
anytime you have a global, like I always used to say this back in Season 3, you want to go to the source of the global, so that would be Rumble since he has his teleport. You want to go attack him before he's able to join the fight anywhere else. Because if you're joining the fight anywhere else, not only can he join, but you can also get counter-ganked. And that's no fun.
Well, Zamfira has that idea in mind.
Oh,
Jumps
he's
on the wall.
Snag him.
W. Delays Q. Ignite is on. No
Level
flash
5.
for
It's
Jezzy.
level 5, though, so no ulti.
Oh, Q doesn't land. He gets out. Close.
How close is he to level 6? I really wish we could click on him.
Golden glue is now, so
Yeah,
not far.
he's got to be like half a wave or something. Oh well, very close. They were able to chase Rumble out of lane. Still good news for Cognitive. Still things rolling their way. Now it's Complexity Red that are gonna have to make something happen here. Olaf without Ghost, it's hard for him to force any ganks. So I don't really expect him to come up in any big plays. It's mostly just try and farm and stay around the lane that you think will get ganked so that you can come counter gank if a play starts to take place.
We'll see if he gets the Spidey sense, right? See if he can find out where Ziploc's coming in. Something interesting for me is COG just grabbed Sork Shoes on their jungler and their mid laner. So they're trying really hard to make like aggressive bursty plays pretty early on. I don't normally see Sork Shoes retch unless you're looking for that.
For both of them?
Mid and jungle, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fairly common for Elise, but like...
Elise, oh my gosh, she loves the early game here. So hopefully, for her sake, oh god, this is going to be dangerous.
Good ward.
Ziploc can't get that far over, though, with the repel. He was just barely out of the range there. And it was pretty dangerous for Olaf to try and contest that second blue spawn in the first place. So it's a good habit for both teams, actually, to be aware of the 7-minute timer, which is pretty easy to keep.
Yeah.
And always be looking for that counter blue.
See what they go for here. So, mid lane, minions dying back and forth. Pretty equal minion kills for these guys. 0, 0, 0, 57 minions. Jezzy definitely behind early. He'll catch up by about 3 minions on this wave. But certainly that gank has set him behind. He's losing this lane to Richie Rich. And it's going to be, I guess, his team fights that'll set him apart and have more impact in this game.
Yeah, and I'm actually surprised that he has not defensively warded for the tower dive, because the tower dive could keep happening to Rumble here. You know, he's got no defensive summoners, and he doesn't have a lot of defensive stats either built up. So no defensive ward for him.
Yeah.
But, you know, the call has been made to the other side of the map.
And Jezzy's actually burned his teleport already, and Cognitive, I believe, sensing this, have actually gone for Dragon right now. The team is grouped up, and no one's even trying to stop him.
So Elise, both of her Spiderlings die to the Dragon. They die for the cause, for the global gold, and that will be one more objective. But, as you said, Jezzy has to stay up in that top lane with no teleport. Keeps on pushing it.
There's the ultimate impactful. The root's going to land as well. Good damage there. Can the... good flash. Good flash, good flash.
So they got the flash out of him. And it was a good job by COG not overcommitting to that. Just waiting for one thing here. There's no ulti for Rumble now.
Can he take too much damage now? Richie Rich, level 7, does have the own ultimate. Jesse forced a flash.
He has Dragon Form and Flash.
Okay, Richie Rich still going to chase Jesse, putting the slows down as best he can. Can he still get away? Got Kha'Zix there, but Lissandra coming around the side.
2-3 though.
Okay, Richie Rich down to 2/3. Here comes a jump in from Zamfir. Goes Flash W. Is that going to be enough damage? Because Elise is not in range. Ziploc misses the repel. And Jesse getting a 1-for-0 so far. They're going to trade back 1-for-1. NK Inc. shows up. Pops his ghost again. Golden Glue chase down. Picked up. Ziploc making it happen. NK Inc. still on the chase, but now he's outnumbered.
He's got his ulti left. Ragnarok is available. Even
Richie
if he
Rich
does get
no flashing Richie Rich. That's dangerous, but Ziploc going to force Inc. away.
So, again, repel 2 seconds sort of in the penalty chamber for that one. Ends up making it up. Has to burn his flash though.
2-for-1. Zamfir burning every one of his spells now. Flash, ignite, everything. Same for Golden Glue, I suppose. But the first dragon going to Cognitive now. 1,800 gold, putting the LCS promo tournament incumbents in the lead.
I like that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
The damage, though, for this Cognitive team, if we look towards the late game, not as high as last time around. And especially going up against a Sivir Kha'Zix Olaf here.
Oh, yeah.
They're definitely going to be lacking in the damage unless they build it from all their sources. We're probably going to see, like, Blade the Ruin King on Shyvana to add some there. Well, Ziploc coming in for the gank again onto Jesse.
And that's going to be nowhere for Rumble, who's going to get the kill. Not a good ulti. That was weird.
Yeah, that's all you can say after that ulti. Now, he does really like Rumble, though. This is definitely one of his champions he's played a lot. And in the play-ins, they had great success with him. I don't know if he took teleport in all of those ones.
Not that I remember.
It doesn't seem to be working out so far for them.
Well, top turret's going to be going down. Unfortunately, if he had hit the equalizer on the minion wave, maybe he would have kept it alive. But it's going to be turret number 1 of the game going now Cognitive's way. 3,000 gold, putting these guys closer and closer to a 2-0. Just 11 minutes in to this game. Nothing here. Pretty big lead in the lane. So last time we had a Caitlyn Sivir lane. It was actually the players were switched. And the Caitlyn, that time played by Impactful, had the minion kill lead, but got ganked around. Golden Glue and NK Inc. looking for the damage onto Zamfir. The hook's going to land. By hook, I mean axe, and that's going to be enough for the kill. Nicely done. NK Inc. and Golden Glue.
And I have to say, Golden Glue was expecting that one too. He shot his Void Spikes out towards where the claw was going. Not to be fooled, but the range wasn't there. So he almost did it himself. But NK Inc. comes in for the long range axe. And they're able to turn it around. I think that is going to be a problem. If there's something for Complexity fans to be rooting for here, it's definitely Golden Glue, because he is going to be the one carrying this team. He's got 2 kills already. Giant 96 minions for Kha'Zix. He's already getting to the point where it gets really fun to play Kha'Zix. He's got the Hydra. That's pretty much all you need. You clear out all the unnecessary minions or spiderlings that are taking away the isolation damage. And then when you jump in, you just annihilate people.
Sounds fun. And I actually have an interesting thought as well, because all the gold for Cognitive is actually on their top laner, Richie Rich. And he's going to be fairly isolated. No teleport. On Shyvana, it's going to be split pushing a long time. And Jezza gets to actually move around the map as long as he can keep the minions in good standing. I'm curious to see how much this gold lead is going to matter for COG for the next little while.
We've sort of seen it already manifest itself in Richie Rich roaming around the map a lot more. You know, running all the way down to Dragon. And that's sort of the reason why Jezzy's even in CS, even though he is down so many kills from all the dives. But Richie Rich, you know, he does have to spend a lot of time traversing the map. All that walking time, he's not acquiring more gold for his team, whereas Jezzy will passively farm whatever minions have been pushed to him and then join with the teleport. And Rumble, with the counter initiate, is actually just fine. You know, even if he comes in a couple seconds later, it's not going to be the end of the world. He's not like the Malphite where you want him there at the very beginning. Richie Rich going to go for the steal here? Doesn't actually, but he looks for the kill instead.
Oh, gets slowed down. He's okay.
Well, yeah, not going to get anything there, but he did use his Cutlass active.
Will they stay for the turret? Yep. That's going to go down pretty cleanly. 2 turrets now for Cognitive. 3,000 gold still the score, though, so nothing's moved in a little while. Ziploc looking now for the bottom lane red buff. Damage on the NK Ink. There comes the damage across. 2/3 HP, now below half for this Olaf. Trying to run. Ziploc's gonna have another Q. 300 health, another Q. More damage. Does he have it? Axe, Ignite, E, got him. Richie Rich getting the more money. Good Rumble ulti now. Richie Rich does not have flash. He's got no way to get out from Jesse. Slow comes in. Golden Blue's gonna get that one. Shut down 500 gold. And Impactful, not a great place. Has to try to get away. Actually, all right, there we go.
They give it to Ziploc. That execution damage, my goodness, right through the barrier. Don't even care.
Ouch. Jesse's going to sweep away the bottom lane minions, but not what these guys wanted. 7-3, and look at that. Dragon is just now up, and it's a 4 versus 3 on the map.
Yep, perfect timing there for Cognitive. Every time that you do have control of the Dragon timer, it just helps your team because you can coordinate all of your moves to that side of the map and make sure that you convert kills into objectives here. Good job securing it as well. Ziploc actually so confident he walks away as he smites. Trying to scare off that Kha'Zix. Alright, so let's watch the kill that we sort of missed here. Xanfira does go in to lock down the support. Barely trading with the support there. Lost a lot.
Yeah.
And we already saw what happened to the Sivir, who was sort of cornered under her turret.
Yep, she died.
Running in circles.
She died.
Meanwhile,
alone.
Again, we got to keep the hope alive for this Complexity Red team.
Sure.
Kha'Zix, Golden Glue, got a 500 gold shutdown. So
the rich man.
Not only was the team already, counting on him, a lot of their support resting on his shoulders, but even more so now.
He's the Golden Glue that holds the team together. Looks now for a Spider, who's the superior bug. Ziploc trying to get away. Boomerang Blade comes across. More burst coming through from Annie. But here comes Xanfira. Can he defend the turret? The team is regrouping. It's going to be a 5 versus 4. Gets the root onto 2. Support Daddy about to be destroyed, leaving some orphans behind. And now trying to run away is Richie Rich looking now for more engage. Damage on a Golden Glue. Another leap away right here. The team's going to regroup into this one. Golden Glue gets the kill. 1 for 0. And there's the Rumble ulti. The damage on the Ziploc's going to be massive. 2 for 1 in this fight. Zane King overextended. Make that 3. Overall, a 4 for 2 battle. Complexity Red pulling it back.
There's Rumble. Showing up just in time. There we go. As I said, the counter initiate from Jesse. They're able to clean up a couple more kills. And man, Golden Glue turning around to just execute Richie Rich with that isolation damage. Yep. That's something, even as a tank, you got to pay attention to. You're way far out in front of the rest of your team. You're isolated. Extra damage there, and he goes down quick.
Yeah. Did you just feel an earthquake? Because that was quite a rumble.
All right, let's look at the replay. Support Daddy does get locked down instantly from this fight. So, of course, they're disengaging. Flash Blade of the Rune King for Richie Rich. But, as we said, he's isolated both this time. 2 of those isolation Qs. Boom, he's down. Zephyra obviously going to use his ultis to lock down Kha'Zix, and they get the kill. But here comes Rumble, and he's able to clean it up. What is that? What was that on the Richter scale for you then?
I would say like a 2 or 3. Yeah, 3.
That's not very high.
Well, I was just reading a score.
Okay. A 2, a 3. Terrible.
It was really lame.
Because, like, that's such a pitiful earthquake. We're in California, freak. Hey, gotta be at least.
It's only a rumble.
All right. A kill down bottom. What happened? Let's go take a look at the body.
Yeah, she's dead.
We're gonna have to CSI. Let's see what happened here. 3 members of COG, 1 dead Sivir.
Cocoon.
Do the math.
Hook.
He got obliterated. And Golden Glue barely escaped with his life, probably jumping out backwards.
Uh-oh.
Richie Rich now.
And cast aggro. Golden Glue's going to trade his life for it. Worth it? Kill him?
He flashed.
NK Ink?
Didn't
deal
he
the
flash
damage?
for that sucker?
No.
Golden Glue flashed in.
He flashed out, maybe?
In.
Whatever. Rumble ulti goes out. Some damage in the minions. Still not going to be able to keep the turret alive. Looks like Cognitive going to grab this one for themselves.
Yes.
Saber kill got from a turret.
I'm telling you, both these teams only have one direction they go, always forward. Okay, so it was the hook into the Xanfira coming in. They lock him down, and he's dead. Toast.
Nicely played. The damages
we
were
pretty much already figured that out from the crime scene.
Yep. We've got a new show. We just look at bodies on League of Legends and the assist pool.
What happened here? Looks like Thresh was down bottom by himself, probably landed a hook, and a capitalization there from...
Uh-oh, support Daddy. No, stop it, run away. Sivir ult pops. Going to get the team alive. Lantern's there. And Ziploc is going to be safe.
I love having a Thresh on my team as Elise, because if you do repel like that, and you got nowhere to go, Always such a relief to come down to that safe, warm light of the lantern.
I think it's no surprise that the bugs are drawn to it. I feel like Golden Glue just like can't help but leap there as well.
Yeah, he's really been drawn to it.
See if we can find some more. 4, 3, and 1.
It's really unfortunate that you can't like body block it as well anymore, since it does have its own collusion now. Can't ward block it. I thought that was a cool mechanic. I guess it's not really intended, so take it out, I guess.
I feel like ward blocking Powerball is like the lamest version of that.
Yeah.
Are you Ramus? Here's
it was
75
always
gold.
so hilarious, though. Because he makes like a skidding noise when he hits it. Yeah.
Thud. He's just sad.
Ramus already had enough difficulties, though. We don't want to add that.
You could block hooks, too. That was actually hard, though, because you had to like move your mouse in the correct direction and then click as well.
So if we're going over, you know, old bugs, things that were cool, did you know there was a period in time where Olaf's axes, the undertow, could do double damage if you land it directly on the champion model. So it was a bug.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a super OP bug, but it took a lot of skill to pull that bug off. So I thought, because I was a player at the time, that this was a really cool thing. It was a cool bug. So leave it in there because you have to have skill to actually pull it off. However, it's ridiculous if you do, because the double damage on early leveled axes was unbelievable.
You thought Elise's level 9 burst was high.
It was, yeah, it was too much. But it was fun while it lasted. I got to use it in a tournament, actually. So it was,
you got to feel good about
yourself. It was pretty funny to me. Yeah.
That's good. Did you know Cleanse used to block every form of debuff? So you could put it down and headbutt and pulverize would literally not affect you?
Yeah.
That was like in the game, like on purpose for a patch.
Okay, so no more did you knows. Time for Dragon. 5 more seconds. They've got it timed. Both teams with vision.
Rumble has TP.
This will be a pretty... Yeah, I'd like him to come down early, actually. Start that channel. If you're going to contest it, start the channel early. Okay, or you can go with that call.
And
don't
show up
contest
after Dragon.
And just come in and look at the pink ward. They've got the pink ward.
30 gold. That's almost the same as like 1,000.
Pretty close. Round up.
30 squared is roughly what you'd get for a Dragon.
You're just throwing out
math
statements now.
Well, I've been thinking of like an equalizer pun for a while.
Okay.
Don't got one yet.
Keep working on it. Don't give it away.
Well, there's the equalizer.
He just used it.
And they're going to go. Zamfir ulting to keep himself alive, but Golden's going to find one, jumps away with exhaust on his body and stays alive. 1 for 0.
Ooh, that was bold. But he was rewarded with the kill, and he escaped with his life.
Indeed.
So worth it all the way, calculated by Golden Glue. Doing his own math over here on Kha'Zix. I have to say, taking risks like that when you are the carry of your team, all their hopes are resting on your shoulders. Very bold move from him. And it just shows that he's not... Okay, now this would be even more bold. Go for that solo kill on the Caitlyn who's low on mana.
Oh my, are you serious? Oh, Golden Glue, please.
Oh, God.
Golden Glue.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. You know he's going to try.
Oh, this is such a good move here. I have so much respect for you, Golden Glue.
Yes, Golden Glue.
So much respect.
Golden Glue, do it. Golden Glue, nothing here. Ah, he got it. Run. Golden Glue, come on.
Nope. Okay, he's no faker, that one. Mission accomplished, though.
I was never more excited for a kill. I've never cheered for a single player that hard before.
It was...
That was great. I was so happy he did that.
Yeah, I could tell by your cheering there, if that's what we'll term it. Now, if he was Faker, he definitely would have got out of that alive, right?
Easy. Koreans are naturally better.
Probably would have hopped on the wall and got some sort of wall push bug where he got shoved to the other side.
What?
I don't know. I'm just making stuff up now.
Yeah, you are.
That's my fault.
It's okay.
Carry on.
So, here's a thought on equalizer.
Yeah.
It's weird that it's only one line because an equal sign requires 2. It's really more like a division or a subtraction sign.
It's just
misnamed.
Yeah, that would be just subtraction because it's also killing people, taking them off the map.
I mean, you could divide them. You lower their health by 1/3.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I guess.
You guess. I'm like correct here.
I like how you preface that with like, because it still opens up the opportunity for a counter argument. You were like correct. Yes, freak.
I'm just from California. I say like before words sometimes. That's like a good point.
Well,
dude,
we do have a congregation mid
Congregation?
I like it. They are congregating?
No, that's good. I liked it. What? Twin Shadows on Rumble.
I like this team. Golden Glue goes for the assassination kills deep in enemy territory, 1 versus 3. Jezzy builds Twin Shadows on Rumble on top of his Leandry. He's like, you know what? That's slow from Electro Harpoons and Equalizer. Not enough.
Well,
need to have another one that will reveal as well.
Here's why I like it. It gives, last I checked, 6% movement speed.
Oh, yeah.
And 40 MR and 40 AP, and it's not too expensive.
So it's a Blade of the Ruined King Shyvana, though. That's not only magic damage you got to worry about.
No.
That's going to be painful when she jumps in on you. But
at least Leona.
It's a cool item because they're spooky ghosts.
Lysandra.
Everybody loves spooky ghosts.
They're very scary.
Oh, down bottom, though, in the jungle. The Vision War here, you can see how Cognitive are slowly creeping up in this red side jungle. They've got a nice line of wards here, and they've sort of established this as their territory now. They've got 3 of the 4 quadrants of the map secured, and one of them leads into Dragon. So if you can retain control of Dragon at this stage in the game, it's almost up to max gold worth. So it's a very, very important objective.
Yeah.
The importance increased tremendously with the new changes this patch. Now, split pushing here, Richie Rich is going to have a hard time because Jezzy's backing up Golden Glue. And they don't use Twin... I thought it was going to be a hard time because we were going to see Twin Shadows in action.
He's going to drag it over the wall anyway.
Yeah.
Well, Cognitive get down to the bottom lane first for a little bit of pressure onto this turret. Minions aren't there yet, though. It's going to give some time for the recalls.
Sivir heading down, and this is the opportunity for Complexity to make another move to get back in this game.
Yeah.
You can commit all 5 people to this bottom team and pop on the hunt. You'll be able to catch them. I mean, even if you have to go around a box, you don't have to go through the box. Olaf could go through it. Actually, he'll just break all the walls.
Take all the walls. Yes!
Great minds.
Woo. We think alike. The bad ones get lucky sometimes.
Ragnarok. Their boxes have no place.
Nope.
Ragnarok.
Get him out of here.
All right. So Golden Glue previously
he thinks outside the box.
Cleared that ward up there that Richie Rich was using to split push. But he's, even without replacing it, man, Richie Rich just has great split pushing instincts.
Hold on. Okay. So safe so far. These guys have definitely slowed this game down. They realize that it's an important game here a little bit. Cognitive win this best of 3. They are guaranteed into the second spring series. They're guaranteed 7 Challenger Series points, 5 for 3rd place, 2 for being top 8 at least in the next series.
Plus, I always want to state the importance of intimidation. In the Challenger League, it's your opportunity to show that your team is something to be feared, because the way that promotion works is the LCS teams get to pick who they play. So if you show up really big in the Challenger games, then nobody's going to pick you. You'll probably be left to the weakest LCS team.
True.
Well, you'll be left to the second weakest because the weakest is getting LMQ. But regardless,
you're a little looking ahead right now. What if everyone dumps their LMQ? What if they behold Quantic?
As of right now, LMQ are the most terrifying team. So
sure.
If
Until
teams,
Complexity Black plays them tomorrow.
Yeah, if teams were choosing, you know, that's just the way it would fall. But the same principle stands. You want to have the best reputation from Challenger so that you get picked up by a lower tier LCS team.
Well, think about EU. Oops, we first picked Rocat. Best team in Europe.
Yeah. I didn't say it was a foolproof plan.
Just a likely one.
That's just the mentality, you know.
How smart do they feel now? Wow, we first picked the best team in Europe. That's unfortunate.
Oh, there's Ragnarok!
Forward. Oh my God, the CC! Cognitive getting worked around right now. Jezzy picks up one traded back now by Admiral Ziploc. The fight still continuing. Actually, this battle going nicely. 2 for 2 so far. What's going to happen now? Richie Rich still healthy. Jezzy with double kill. Running away. Richie Rich finds him. 4 members dead. 3 members dead on the other side right there.
Pick him up, Richie.
I don't think he's fast enough. Axe.
Not if he gets undertowed.
Oh my gosh, he got slowed so heavily.
Have you ever been caught in an actual undertow? Oh no, he's still on the hunt. Okay.
No, I haven't.
Keep watch.
Oh.
Richie Rich
is on a ward.
See, it's very hard to catch Kazakhs, especially blue buff Kazakhs.
Is an undertow and one foot's below the other?
No. Well, I guess you could technically say that would be one toe under the other.
Uh-huh.
But, okay,
no.
so Kazakh gets out safe. Now we can look at the fight again. Annie plus Rumble Ultimate, my goodness. And then Threshbox plus Lysandra. So both teams answering here. And that's why it was so close. Everybody gets AoE down, and it's really Richie Rich just trying to pick his targets right now. Rumble had a bounty that big on him?
He got a triple kill in that fight.
My goodness. So he just got that bounty, and it was immediately taken away?
He started out 0-3, and then he became 5-3, and then died 5-4.
That's unfortunate for Complexity. Didn't have to turn out that way, and yet Richie Rich just got a lot bigger.
Yeah, so he is the guy to watch for. Started the game 3-0, now 8-3. We'll see if he can go Zion Spartan in this game.
Yeah, well, I was talking about the late game damage for Cognitive earlier and how the sources are going to have to be a little bit more unexpected. Shyvana's a pretty big source now. She's got the Blade and the Sunfire Cape. This teleport in, they think Baron's already started, but it's not.
So here they go. Richie Rich around the backside. Support Daddy Low does not get much off. There comes the equalizer.
Tackle
What's going to happen?
Oh,
2 for 1 so far. Nothing here's got nowhere to go. Ziploc. Now in the back line, but Richie Rich shows up. He is a scary person, and Jezzy still picking up well in this fight. NK Inc. battling Richie Rich, not going to win that one, though. Golden Glue also not in a good spot, running away from
Richie Rich is a god!
He is gigantic. He is a 2v2 right now. Ziploc fighting Jezzy. Jezzy trying to win.
Richie
the Twin Shadows make it happen.
I feel like they should have followed the buddy system there. They were split up. Richie Rich was doing his own thing.
He's got the slow.
Now he's going to be facing it.
And the first comes through. Golden Glue gets $500 for that one. Jezzy's showing up really big after a horrible early game.
All right, once again, boom, Complexity with a nice comeback there. So the buddy system, I have to say, should be followed when you're facing a Kha'Zix.
Yeah.
Because Ziploc was sort of up there by himself at first, taking isolation damage, and then Richie Rich sort of took his spot. Now, again, multiple sides for the initiation. Support Daddy just gets annihilated. Impactful gets annihilated. This is a 3-man comeback from Complexity Red here. Jezzy's able to wait out Zamfira Zanya, and then he joins back up. This is the buddy thing where they split up. Ziploc now by himself with Jezzy. He's having a hard time. How does he even land another? Wow, Ziploc just face checks it. He wanted to follow the buddy.
Yeah.
They wanted to go.
Because they would have 2v1 Richie Rich, so he's like, maybe I can get Golden Glue.
He wanted to hold hands so that isolation damage from Kha'Zix wasn't going to be a factor. But he ended up running right back into Rumble. He should have known Rumble was coming around because his Spiderling just got hit by a harpoon.
Exactly.
And then he turned around right into the direction the harpoon was just shot at him from.
You don't want to run into harpoons. I feel like that would hurt a bit.
You know, that definitely would hurt a bit, especially if you're oh, no, never mind. You said you weren't ever caught in an undertow before.
No, but what? So what happened to this? What? Explain.
Well, you just die because you got a harpoon in your face and you're gonna get swept out to sea.
That's what an undertow is?
An undertow is the undercurrent.
Okay.
That's kind of dangerous at a lot of beaches.
Yeah, but what's this about a harpoon?
Pull you. Oh, that was the electro harpoons from Rumble.
Oh, okay.
He was shooting them at him, and then we just saw Ziploc run right into the harpoon.
Okay.
Back to the Baron though, because this is the most exciting area of the map that we have in the game. Twin Shadows!
All right, Ziploc is spooky right now. Jezzy down to half HP. No engage comes in from Zamfira. They chase on nothing here. NK really going for this damage right there and finds everything he needs, but they trade back and forth. Another kill goes back onto Lissandra. The battle still continues 4 versus 3. NK Inc. and Zion King off on the side. The jump in on Ziploc. He gets zipped up. Richie Rich alone now against 4. 4-for-1 battle there. Complexity Red have blood in their eyes.
This is why we keep talking about the end game of Sivir now. After we've seen a whole day of Sivir. Even though they're behind in gold, Olaf sped up by that on the hunt is ridiculous. And as we said, Golden Glue is always waiting around the edges of the fight for opportunities to jump in. This time around, Rumble did his job. Boom, we've got the Twin Shadows to start it off, and then burn damage on everyone to get them all low. Easy follow-up here because they've got the mobility, and man, the end game looks even better for Complexity Red because they can do the same thing. You bait team fights out away from turrets, down at the Baron, pop on the hunt, and you catch anybody that you want to.
Yeah. And I got to actually kind of piggyback on you talking about how good the end game Sivir is.
Yeah.
Get us through this replay first, though.
Well, here we go. Rumble ulti does land onto nothing here at least, and NK Inc. is not going to leave his side. So that means he's going to go down early. At this point, where we got to keep track of Golden Glue, he gets out of the burn, jumps back in for the kill, and then it can easily finish off Richie Rich because he's isolated.
So I wanted to point out that the bottom lane of Complexity Red has 0 kills and 27 assists. So you're like, yeah, you picked Sivir for the team fights because the early game's not very good. 0, 4, and 16 Sivir. Works out.
Yeah, she's not about the solo carry. It's about team play here. As Gordon Hayward said, it's very similar to basketball. Team with the more cohesive team play and communication can come out on top. So in the end game, let's see here, for Cognitive, they're still looking for picks. As I said, they have a huge advantage as far as potential to pick champions off. However, Complexity should never be going by themselves. Their team fight is so strong, they don't really have a reason to wander about by themselves.
And they're going to kind of group up a little bit more this time. Like I say, this team is still going to sit as a 5v5.
NK still waiting in the bush, and he misses the undertow, but he picks it right
back
up. Going
anyway, Sivir ulti pop, Twin Shadows of course already down.
In the dirt.
Ziploc, can he find the Lantern? Support Daddy isolated right here on the side. Richie Rich gets jumped on now, jumps back into the team. See what happens now. NK's going to jump into the front as well. Wolfglazer comes down, nothing here, very low on health. Golden Glue chasing him. Can he get it? NK gonna drop in for his troubles though. 1 for 1 so far in the battle.
Golden?
Now on the other side, Zamfira low! Chased down by Golden Glue again. Back to the other side of the fight. Jezzy finds another Sivir 1 as well. 2 dead versus 3 dead here. Richie Rich running away from Jezzy. He's gonna make it out actually, but another fight won by Complexity.
Yeah, Golden Glue was able to navigate that team fight very effectively. Lucky for them, he had his flash up as well. Got a couple more resets, and that should probably be some Nexus damage. Nexus turret damage at least.
Yeah, I believe it. Let's see what we got here. Packful just killing away the minions, waiting for the minion wave. 2 guys alive. They can't stay for this one.
Yeah, Rumble recalling. I thought Rumble would come back in with the teleport, but only 7 seconds on Thresh. I like the safe play.
Safe.
All right, so once again, initiation. This is Cognitive trying to kite the On the Hunt for as long as they can. And as you said, they isolated Annie. But as soon as they group up here, Rumble ulti onto nothing here, and everybody goes right for his face. They take out the AD carry. We've talked about how he's a really big part of this team. He usually carries COG. They take out the damage source first, and Golden Glue was able to pop back through the fight to get that 3rd kill.
Wow. So good stuff here with these guys. And so I did the math in my head, and about 1,100 gold has gone to Impactful because of assist streaks. Where if you have more than 2 more assists than kills, you get some bonus gold in the assists. About 1,100 gold per assist streak for being 18 assists up.
Yeah, and the assist streaks for this sort of team where you run Sivir just go through the roof because you're constantly team fighting. And it's usually going to be Golden Glue getting all the kills, so everybody else is racking up assists, and your team just gets so much more money. You can see they've already broken into the lead now. Now that they have the gold lead, not only do they have this Sivir single...
Jezzy jumped on, he's safe.
The Ghost's going a long ring around there. They went all the way around that Wraith camp.
Yeah. Zamfira, he actually DFG'd last in his combo.
Yeah. He wanted to get out away from the Rumble because they're so scared. As soon as On the Hunt gets popped, it's very hard for them to kite this team. This Baron, not even going down, is doing a lot for Complexity because they're constantly drawing COG over to the side of the map they want to fight in.
Yeah.
Probably just see a repeat here.
Team fight after team fight, after team fight after team fight. Fight us at Baron, +1 kill. Fight us at Baron, +1 kill. Fight us at Baron again, +1 kill. And finally the lead now for these guys. So it's narrow. 800 gold separates the teams overall, all things considered. And he's still playing the initiator role. And looks like Baron has been started on the top of some wards though.
Double wards inside.
They're around, but thing is, COG are not spotted on that trip over. There they are.
I think COG still, like, everything really relies on a really, really fortunate pick for them, and they haven't been able to get it.
Okay, Richie Rich trying to run away, pops the Randuins, but still has nowhere to really go.
Man.
Over the wall comes Lissandra, immediately self-ults. The battle has begun.
On the hunt, time down.
Impactful. Zane King on the bottom side. What's going to go down first? Looks like Jezzy dropping dangerously low, trying to run away. So far, so good. 2 for 0 so far. Double kill for Annie. Traded back into the top lane. Lissandra falls 4 for 1 in this battle. Golden Glue, legendary in this fight. Only nothing here alive.
Yeah, we talked to how much money he was getting in that early game, and he was the hope here for Complexity Red. He's done a great job with that money. Has not even had to proc that Guardian Angel. Even though On the Hunt ran out by the time they actually started. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's unlikely he lives.
Okay, there we go.
Ace picked up there. That's going to be the 2 turrets going down, and Complexity Red putting themselves back in this match. 1-1 this best of 3 is now. And this is all kinds of interesting. These guys have gone back and forth in some fairly close games.
So, Sivir. right?
Sivir doing very well.
Yeah. She's got great stats today.
Yeah. A lot of wins under her belt.
I think she's going to get banned out by Red Side.
I feel like it'll happen. It was first picked away this time by Complexity Red. They identified how important she was. And the thing is, both times, the Sivir's been picked first, and they've allowed the other team to sort of counter-pick it. So first time around, COG picked it up in their picks 2 and 3, and then immediately got countered by Caitlyn Annie. And Caitlyn Annie had won the laning phase, but got out-ganked by Admiral Ziploc, and of course we saw COG win that game. This time around, Complexity Red, first pick it blind. They let Caitlyn Thresh fight against them. Yeah. Still doesn't matter. Again, the team fight wins happen.
You can see that Cognitive were going for the early game plays to try and end this game before we got to that point because the Sork shoes rush from both their mid laner and from their jungler.
Yep.
And the dives onto Rumble, going right at that teleport, trying to take him out before the global game really came into effectiveness, but they weren't able to end it early enough.
Nope.
And eventually their lead dwindled away as on the hunt after hunt after hunt, we're able to chase people down.
It was a very well-played game. And so, okay, so you talked about Sivir being an important ban, most likely. I'm wondering what bans you drop. Kha'Zix?
Kha'Zix also important.
Even though it failed in the first game, you think it's just the X factor is too high?
I think it's really important. Golden Glue definitely knows how to handle that champion. The ganks towards mid, I mean, I guess if they leave LeBlanc up, then it's going to be a problem again. So
yeah,
that's kind of a double-edged sword there.
Well, think about the red side is going to be Complexity Red. So Kassadin, so far every game banned by Red. You're thinking Sivir being an important ban here. The Lulu has been banned out by them every single game so far. And then LeBlanc is now number 4. So something there has to drop off.
Yeah, that's true.
Something that's important either.
Something's got to give.
They got to leave it. They've got to maybe let Lulu go past first rotation and pick it for their support. Leave Kassadin up. I actually think so. I don't think Kassadin needs to be so constantly banned because even when it has been picked like the 2 or 3 times in LCS, we've seen it lose. We've seen people beat him up. I think the Kassadin scared...
Nobody practices him.
Right.
You can punish him early.
Yep.
The only thing is if you make a mistake, then you're going to get wrecked.
I mean, think about all the things you can
don't make any mistakes.
So don't make any mistakes. Just, have no blink and be melee and just win your laning phase.
Yeah.
Easy, right? It's not hard.
I feel like you're being facetious.
No. Super. You just last it with Q for 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then you'll eventually be a late game terror with your 12 CS.
I would like to see Golden Glue on TF because
Twisted Fate.
I've seen it before,
okay.
And he's one of the few players that I still trust on that champion.
Really?
Now, it's not going to happen.
Okay.
Because he's just has so many weaknesses.
Sure.
But
like Kassadin. Sorry, go ahead.
Fine, I give up.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious. Yeah. Please talk about TF. I'm actually interested. I like him.
Well, if we return to the global game that they want to play, having a global in your mid lane as well as your top lane is more effective than just having 2 random global ultimates. Whenever they gank the source of your other global comes to counter gank. And you can easily turn that around for even early game dominance. And then in the late game, you have all these answers for split pushing. So as far as the map game is concerned, it's still a very viable option. It's just lane phase for him doesn't really go well in any situation. No. And his damage isn't quite up there with the current assassins. And the damage that people are bringing from the mid lane with all these other champions just surpass TF. And, pretty much everybody besides maybe Lissandra putting out so much more that he's fallen off.
I think his laning works well in the 2v2 in that he's got a point-and-click stun fairly well on demand. So you get like an Elise or a Lee Sin or one of those great early gankers, and you're like, I can guarantee you will die.
Yeah. And then once you gank his lane, he goes to another lane.
Kills more people.
For your jungler, you gank your TF's lane. It frees up your TF to gank somewhere else. Basically, you just got 2 ganks off.
And you got to tax mid the entire time. Jungler's dream right
always
there.
Got to be thinking ahead.
Take the minion farm. Guys, we got to take a quick break. When we return, Cognitive Gaming and Complexity Red take to the Rift to settle once and for all who gets 3rd place in this Challenger Series. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.